Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Next, we have a presentation for firefighter Travis Rushton. Our Chief Tyrell will do the ceremony, the badge pinning.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to come back to the boardroom and honor paramedic firefighter Travis Rushton in tonight's meeting. You know, the last several ceremonies, as you know, have been in our house at Fire Station 1, and we certainly enjoy that, and that's because of the large, really attendance and the large number of either being promoted or being hired and pinned. So, there's just something special about being back here at the boardroom. I love walking in. I love seeing that beautiful line of apparatus, and I love watching those professionals walk in. So I really appreciate your time tonight. It looks like you have a pretty good agenda. We're going to do it right, but we're going to get out of your way. Travis, could you do me a favor? As I start to talk about you, I want them to put a face to the comments. If you could just stand up here. It's awkward because you don't know if you want to turn your back to the board or to the audience. I struggle with that every day. So, tonight's badge pinning and swearing in represents more than just the start of a career. It marks the beginning of a commitment to service, sacrifice, dedication to our community and those that we serve. Becoming a Washington Township firefighter is a responsibility built on integrity, teamwork, and a willingness and a calling to help others during their worst day. I know the board certainly and my team has heard me speak often about our culture in the Washington Township Fire Department. I'm really proud of that. And it's a contribution to the folks that we hire. And Travis is a great example of that. Those that have chosen the WTFD to fulfill their purpose and their calling to our community and our profession. Travis is finishing up his 12-month probation period. You're literally seeing him just days before completing the 12-month probation. He's not only exceeded expectations throughout the whole 12 months with his knowledge, skills, and ability, but he brings this amazing attitude with him. When I speak with him, he makes my day better. I want to thank you for that. As an example, and I don't know if Travis will remember this, but because he probably walks around with that attitude all day, every day, but last week I went to catch him at Fire Station 1, and I'm going across the apparatus bay from admin to suppression, and he was in the radio room doing some computer work. I just opened the door. I said, "Travis, how's it going? How you doing? You're almost done with 12-month probation." And he stands up with this huge smile, and he shakes my hand, and he said, "Chief, it's going really well. I love it here." And I'm like, "Oh, man, you made my day." And I thank you for that. Yesterday, or maybe the day before, I sent him an email, and I'm trying to plan this, and I let him know that he successfully completed his 12-month probation. And he sent me an email response, and I think I want to read this, what he wrote back to me. He said, "Chief Tyrell, I greatly appreciate the opportunity presented to me and the time invested to get me to where I am today. I don't think I could ask for a better group of people to work with." I appreciate that. He said, "I look forward to continuing to learn and grow while building a successful career with the Washington Township Fire Department." Travis, I really appreciate your uplifting attitude of gratitude. I appreciate it. There's many that walk around with that in this business, in our house, but in today's society, man, I really appreciate it. It seems more of a rarity than a norm. Today, we're proud to welcome Travis Rushton to the department and grateful for the support of his family, his friends, and all of those who helped him reach this milestone. We don't get here alone. We also appreciate the continued support of this board and our community for recognizing the importance of public safety and our men and women that we serve, who serve. Travis joined our full-time division May 12, 2025. Like I said, he's wrapping up his 12-month probation with high remarks and recommendations from his battalion chief, his lieutenant, his training officer, his EMS instructor coordinator, amazing letters of recommendation. Travis earned his state firefighter certifications while attending the Macomb Community College Fire Academy. Was there a number associated with your academy? 83. He completed his medical training. He's the emergency medical technician with Macomb Community College as well, and then his paramedic training also at Macomb Community College. It's a lot, and it's an amazing feat in a short amount of time, and he represents the department so well. I'm proud to welcome you to the team. I'm proud and really grateful that you chose the Washington Township Fire Department. At this time, I'm going to approach, we're going to raise our right hand, I'm going to give you the oath, okay?
Nice background. Yeah, that's a good background.
Thank you. All right. Raise your right hand. I, please state your name.
Travis Rushton,
Do solemnly swear to do my duty
do solemnly swear to do my duty
as a firefighter
as a firefighter
for the Charter Township of Washington
for the Charter Township of Washington
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
to serve my commanding officers
to serve my commanding officers
with respect and dignity,
with respect and dignity,
to serve the citizens of the Charter Township of Washington
to serve the citizens of the Charter Township of Washington
with compassion,
with compassion,
courage,
courage,
and integrity,
and integrity,
and to uphold the laws and constitutions of the United States of America,
to uphold the laws and constitutions of the United States of America,
the state of Michigan,
the state of Michigan,
and the Charter Township of Washington,
and the Charter Township of Washington,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Badge pin at the podium, is that the all right, right. Okay, at this time, I'd like to call Travis's mother, Melissa, up to pin the badge on her son Travis. And I should have said this sooner. Great photo opportunity if it pleases the board. Grab your iPhones, and you can even approach if you want to close it. I'll get out of the lens. Yes.
Welcome. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So
Again,
nice.
Travis.
Congratulations.
We'll have a seat real quick, and, one more bit of information, and I'm not sure it's pertinent, I'll need some help from my team. Didn't Travis win the probationary firefighter Christmas help me, right? Did he win that? I'll cue you in after the meeting, but nice job, well done. If it pleases the board, we can exit, and we'll get some photos outside by our trucks or whatever the team so chooses. All right, thank you, appreciate your time tonight.
Chief, thank you.
Remember, Travis, only 2 more to go. Only 2 more shifts.
We'll give a minute for them to wander.
What if it's on TV?
So happy to have
I just don't want to put us in a situation where
it works. Good.
you think they will get the message. At what point will they?
Exactly.
You ever had
Yes.
Okay.
Get rid of them.
Okay, we'll continue now. Next is the consent agenda. We are being asked to approve the accounts payable of May 1st, 2026, approve the minutes of the Board of Trustee meeting of April 15th, 2025, approve the closed session minutes of the Board of Trustee meeting of April 15th, 2026, and accept the Fire Department monthly report of March 2026.
I would like to make a motion to
I just caught this. On the minutes for the 4:15 meeting, there's a section that I thought was deleted, but it's magically there. So the 15.2 is listed twice, and it should have been deleted. So I'm making a motion that I'm going to correct that. That's all I have to say. I just noticed that.
It's just a double paragraph.
It's a double,
Yeah, okay.
it was printed twice, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
See that?
Anyone want to make a motion for the consent agenda?
I think she just did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Audrey made the motion, I support
You
it.
support, okay, sorry. Motion by Brown, supported by Mylum. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Moved agenda items, we have none. Comments from the audience on agenda items only. Please feel free to come to the podium. You have 3 minutes on anything on the agenda. State your name and address. Going once? Going twice? Going twice? Okay, thank you. Next is legal counsel.
No.
Nope, okay. Next is unfinished business. This is a carryover, what was tabled last meeting. It was the tariff for the camera equipment. I think it was about $780 some dollars.
Right, and we did speak to the vendor further on this, and he stated that the quote that he gave us was on 3/10/26. The board approved it on 3/28/26, and the order was placed on 4/10, showing tariff fees that weren't there originally. He stated that numerous vendors do assess the tariff fees in anticipation of paying them, whether they are assessed or not. Our vendor said he tries to keep our costs low for customers, and he does not charge for the additional fees, as they are usually not assessed. This was an exception to the rule, so they were assessed. Let me see. This was done the board received a copy of the vendor's invoice of the equipment they ordered. This was done to show to the board the additional tariff fees that were being charged. It is not a common practice for any vendor to provide actual costs of the equipment or the invoices they receive from their direct buyer. Hence, that is why it was blacked out. So that was his statement.
I think in the future, Clark Brown is this, excuse me, if we receive anything that's blacked out, maybe we should not put it in a formal document such as the board packet, because I think it raises kind of suspicious of what's going on. I think in the future, if we just had them redo it, or just, even if they had be white out on there to take it out, but this, I do trust Rob, and he does a great job, but I think in the future, we should make sure that nothing is blacked out like this.
Right.
So I kind of have an issue with that, because don't we take the information as it's given to us and present it to the public? I'm just asking.
Oh, yes?
Well, it's just, I'm just saying that,
Yeah,
to me, however that the vendor gives it to us, that's how we should present it to the public.
Right,
true
we did
transparency.
ask him about the blacked out portion, and that was his explanation of it.
I mean, I can see what Treasurer Nicely is saying to try to protect.
too. I see it too.
But I feel like, where do we draw the line of what we are going to do here? If somebody gives it to us that way, I feel like we owe it to the public to give it to them that way. That's just my thoughts. Are you looking for a motion on whether or not, what do you?
Well, we'll either accept it or deny it.
Well, I think that's the question. It's not about whether it's blacked out or not, just do we accept the additional $785 charge?
I mean, we were given a quote for the cameras. This is the backup how he orders it. So, I mean,
I understand.
I guess we're not to know his.
I don't
know.
I
I mean,
don't
you
particularly
could
care
argue
what his
about-
pricing is. I mean, I want to see what he charges us. It looks like the tariff fees amount to an additional like 2.6% on the original invoice. So, and that, understanding the way the economy is working right now with fluctuating tariffs, depending on where you're importing goods from, I can understand it can be hard to nail that down. I generally don't like to see changes to contracts after they've been presented, but it's not the same world we used to live in either.
For me, I had said originally, if the vendor was willing to split it or come to the table with something, I'd be more amenable to that. But for me, when you quote a job, that's the job you quoted. So I'm a no on that.
And I think that tariffs right now and the economy is affecting everyone, whether it's your food or your gas or whatever you're doing, everything is on the rise. So if we approve this because of the economy or the war in Iran right now, with Iran, then other people could come to us as well and say, well, I had a price increase on this, can you help me out? So I don't support giving it.
I think whoever puts together the quote has to make sure that that's the firm quote and nothing can
Yeah.
come back. But
Right.
I'm agreeable with the tariffs, although I'm not too pleased with them. So I'd just like to make a motion to accept the estimated amount. I'm sorry, I don't have it here in front of me.
785.25.
785.25 to RWM for the rest of the information, rest of the stuff that is already installed here. Support.
We have a motion by Nicely, supported by Stevenson, to pay the tariff fee of $785.25. Any questions on the motion? Otherwise, roll call.
Okay, Nicely.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Mylum.
No.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Praviti.
I'm going to vote no.
Brown, no.
Motion passes 4-3. New business. 11.1, we have an emergency purchase of a flight mixer for the wastewater treatment plant. I'll have Josh, our DPW, explain it to the board.
The flight mixer is a apparatus at our wastewater treatment plant that mixes up the solids to keep them from settling and congealing. The picture that you have in front of you is what happens when that mixer is not running. That is, you're looking at what you think you're looking at.
Wow.
If the solids are allowed to settle and congeal, it creates phosphorus, and Eagle only allows us a certain limit to get to. Once we get over that limit, we start getting fined. We are currently able to keep it under the limits with what we have, but as the temperature rises, it gets harder to keep it under those limits, and there is a lead time of 6 to 8 weeks on the mixer. So that is why we're asking for the purchase of this mixer.
Will we be avoiding the fines if it's in order but we don't have it yet?
Great question.
We will avoid the fines as long as we can stay under our limits for phosphorus.
Isn't this just like $445 over the limit that you could approve anyways?
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve the flying mixer from Kennedy Industries in the amount of $10,445.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Brown, supported by Mylum. Any questions? Otherwise, roll call.
Brown, yes. Mylum.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Praviti.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. Next, we have another emergency purchase of a sludge haul. Josh, explain that one.
Do you have pictures?
Not for this one, unfortunately. There are 4 holding tanks out at the wastewater treatment plant that are filled with sludge and runoff. We could wait till all 4 are filled and then haul them out together, but that would be a rather large bill. We'd rather do 1 tank at a time. Plus, there are some plumbing issues that we're running into. This tank isn't operating as it should, so they would like to drain it down and address those plumbing issues before it becomes a bigger problem.
On those plumbing issues, is that can be covered by the manufacturer?
All the parts we have are already, most of them are purchased and in stock at our wastewater treatment plant, and that repairs will be handled by our consultants from Highland Treatment.
Forgive me that I don't know this, but what location is this being done at?
The wastewater treatment plant out on Powell, just north of 30.
So the newer plant?
Yeah.
Should this already be happening there?
So you don't have to guess. Yeah, I mean, Josh's point is valid that we have storage there that's much larger than it needs to be, and we can store for actually years at a time as required to. This is an issue with taking down one of those tanks, doing some maintenance, and then you'll slowly start to fill it back up. So Just kind of a process more than
So,
anything else.
At the
Totally
end of
normal.
the day, is this routine then?
Yes, yeah, totally normal.
Thank you for answering.
Mike, is that also a result of not being at the full CFS, the full capacity level, as when it was originally brought on board? We had to
No,
we had to
you know, I
haul
was
it out
actually,
at some.
yeah, I
haul it
was
out
actually
sometime.
there today. We are still around 30,000 gallons per day at the plant, which has ticked up very slightly over the past couple of years. But it's really not a product of that so much. It's just the normal operation of the plant.
How often does this need to be done? This is,
I-
this is normal, how often does it need to be done?
We have yet, and I believe this is true, this is the first time that they have had to truck sludge out of this plant in 6 years of operation. Nearly 6 years, it'll be 6 years in October.
So assuming the same usage, another 6 years?
Depending upon the operational, yeah, how
Depends on
much
sludge.
they want to be able to move things around. They actually can kind of take the water out of most of this waste and take it down to a more solid material, not unlike what you saw in that photo either earlier. But,
Hopefully
yeah,
everyone
it'll
ate
really
dinner.
just be up to the operator and what works best for their daily operations.
One last question, I swear. Will you get multiple bids on this? Is there only one vendor? How does this work?
So Highland Treatment has a contract with you to provide operational services for the plant. It's a 2 or 3 year contract that you have renewed multiple times at this point. They will contact a sludge hauler to essentially come and take it out. So it's all through kind of like a professional, not a professional services agreement, but an operator agreement that you have with them that was worked through in the previous board.
Yep.
I can make a motion
There's no
to
pictures?
request. You done?
Yeah, you can. No, I said there's no pictures on this.
Well, then I'd like to make a motion to approve the request of the sludge haul at the wastewater treatment plant from Highland Treatment Company in the amount of $18,700.
Support?
So we have a motion by Mylum, supported by Reinhold. Any questions on the motion? Otherwise, roll call.
Mylum,
Yes.
Reinhold,
Yes.
Praviti,
Yes.
Chaplin,
Yes.
Nicely,
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Brown, yes.
Okay, motion passed. You got your sludge. Next is the the IT contract, the information technology contract. We have an IT committee led by our clerk Brown, so.
Okay. We have an IT committee that's been together since January of '25. A really great group of people, including trustee Chaplin, trustee Stevenson, Dana Berschbeck is on the committee. I am, my deputy Mary, and Bonnie, oh my,
Fire chief.
sorry,
I'm a fire
Bonnie,
chief.
and the chief, oh my goodness, Bonnie and the chief. It's been a really good committee, they've been to every meeting, we've been through a lot, assessing our current vendor, VC3, and we made the decision to put them out to bid. Their contract is over September 27th, 26th, so we need, if we're going to put it out on BidNet, we need some time to propose the bid, put it out, and then get the bids back. And an interview as well. This is a big thing, IT. It's a huge contract, and it's a lot of moving parts to it. And we've also decided that we want the IT committee, because they have an in-depth knowledge of what we've been going through, they will be the selection committee as well. We will also notify our vendor of the intention not to renew the contract and place it out to bid. Committee will work with the clerk in preparing the bid package. We will allow the IT committee to ensure processes of the bid package are complete and followed, investigate qualified bid applicants, interview, and provide recommendations to the board. So, and also our current vendor, of course, they can bid as well.
It may be noted too that we're also piggybacking on Plant Moran for
Yeah.
their security.
Yes.
Make sure that we're performing this correctly as well.
Yes, correct. Yes, they've offered help with that as well. Plant Moran is our auditor, but they have an IT department as well, and they've offered help with preparing the bid, so we appreciate that.
Any questions?
Any questions or
No, I think.
motions?
Good idea to have it bid out.
All right, then I'll make a motion to authorize the clerk to, working alongside the IT committee, to prepare the IT contract for bid along with the grant in a separate bid.
Yes. Second.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's a motion by Chaplin, supported by Mylum. to put the IT vendor out for bid, along with the
Do we
grants.
need to authorize the clerk to notify? Do we need to authorize the clerk to notify the current IT? Says the
Yeah,
board's
they
authorized.
usually send out,
Well,
you can explain
it's
the bid
written-
process.
It's written there, too.
Okay.
You're right, you should say that as well.
I don't want,
That we should read additionally, the board authorizes the clerk.
I will read that in.
Okay, you're right, you're right.
Additionally, the board authorizes the
Thank you.
clerk to formally notify the current IT vendor of the township's intent not to renew their contract and to place the contract out for bid,
Okay, very good.
et cetera.
Just so the public understands, when we put it out to bid, it's called BidNet, right?
BidNet.
Yeah, and it notifies all the, in this case, it'll notify all the IT companies, and then we'll have stipulations that they come
Oh, yeah.
out. And then it'll come back to the board to, whether we pick them or another one.
Okay.
Clerk Brown, are we within the timeframe to notify them? How many days do we have to give them?
They need at least 90 days, so we're okay, yeah.
I believe the current contract ends September,
September 27th, 26, right.
so
We're good,
so I wanted to get it in early enough to
Yeah,
have
we're
the
good.
full notification period.
right.
Motion by Chaplin, supported by
Mylum.
Milo.
Yep.
Any other questions? Otherwise, roll call.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Praviti.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Brown. Yes.
Okay, motion passed. Next is a proposed rezoning of the Groves of Washington. This is, yeah, you can present it. This is for the area at 31 and Van Dyke area.
Good evening, board members. Thank you for your time and your consideration here tonight. My name is John Eady. I'm the attorney for the owner of the property, Statewide Washington. The principal of that company, Michael DeMille, is also here tonight. This is our petition to rezone 36.61 acres of a parcel of 40-plus acres located at 31 Mile and Van Dyke from current A1 zoning to R1D. R1D is a moderate-density, single-family zoning classification with a minimum lot size of 10,000 square foot and a minimum front width of 70 feet. This property in the master plan is designated for moderate density, which includes the R1D designation. The utilities and the infrastructure are in place to support R1D zoning on that property. And the traffic study, which we submitted with our application from Fleece and Vanderbrink, indicate that there'll be a minimal to no anticipated impact on the traffic patterns in the area. They do recognize that there is traffic issues in the area, but they make 3 recommendations in terms of light patterns, which should alleviate some of that, whether or not the property is rezoned. This is not spot zoning. This is consistent with the surrounding areas. We're asking to leave the west 4-plus acres of this parcel as A1, which would allow for larger lots in future development, which would promote a transition from the larger lots directly to the west. There's commercial property directly to the south, which is the Tractor Supply Plaza, and also to the east along Van Dyke Road. There's single-family homes to the north attached to the property to the south of 31 Mile and also across 31 Mile to the north. 3 homes adjacent to this property south of 31 Mile Road, if developed today, would be consistent with the R1D zoning. In addition, there's a subdivision directly to the north, and there are over 20 such lots that if they were developed today would qualify as R1D sized lots. Each of your residential zoning designations in the zoning ordinance includes the phrase, quote, to promote a diversity of lot size. According to the current Washington Township zoning map, there's no property currently zoned R1D north of 27 Mile Road at all. An area of approximately 30 square miles has no place to develop lots within this R1D zoning designation. Within that 30 square miles, each of the other residential zoning designations is represented multiple times, including Ag, R1, R1A through C, and M1 and RM2, which are higher density zoning, some of which is within a stone's throw of this parcel. Tonight, we ask you to rezone this property consistent with the master plan to moderate density designation R1D. The infrastructure is available, is a product that's needed in this portion of the township, and it blends with the surrounding area. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
How many homes do you expect excuse me, expect to be putting up there if it's rezoned?
Somewhere in the neighborhood of mid-60s to mid-70s. There is a concept plan, which is not a site plan, but we submitted with the application. That had 77 units. We've already, in sort of the planning that's coinciding with this process, have reduced that to 70 to 72. The property itself has some zoning or some development issues, especially to the east. There's a drain that runs through it, and also some topographical issues in terms of putting in homes. So we're working around that. So it's essentially creates sort of an open space environment where you have a little higher density in one portion of the project and lower density in the other. But that's a project. We're not here for site plan, we're not here for the project, but that's what we're envisioning.
Will this be primarily individual or multifamily?
All single-family homes,
All single-family?
yes.
And what is the approximate square footage of the homes?
That hasn't been determined yet, that we can be part of site plan,
Okay.
but typically on a development like this, when we've done it in the past, minimums of about 1,500 on a ranch and 1,800 on a two-story.
Okay.
When do you anticipate building?
Well, we have, if you vote to rezone today, there are 2 more steps at least to go through on site plan approval, and then after site plan approval, the infrastructure would be started. And that usually would take 6 months to a year, probably. So probably 2 years, 18 months.
So, sorry, just to clarify for the board, because I know that this is a little bit unique. They did submit a concept plan with their application. That's not actually something that we consider when we're going through the rezoning criteria that are laid out in the zoning ordinance and are in our staff report as well. Those are very specific things that you have to look at when you're looking at a rezoning application. If the applicant were to, be granted the rezoning tonight, then they can come back to the Planning Commission through the site plan approval process to develop under that R1D zoning district. Otherwise, they're held to the A1 zoning district that they're currently at. So that's the purpose of the rezoning request. They just want to change the zoning that applies to that site so they can go forward with the development process. There's nothing, tying them to the site plan or the concept plan that's before you in the packet.
The concept plan is part of the application process in your ordinance, but it's just to give everybody an idea of, in your mind, what it would look like as a finished product.
Do you see yourself coming back and asking for zoning for the other properties that you own?
The other properties, commercial, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At this time, yeah.
Kayla, can you, or John, do you want to talk about the Planning Commission? What did they decide on? I mean, I know, but just for the public.
Yeah. I'll let you, as the expert, I'll let you start.
Sure.
I'll fill in all the good details.
So the Planning Commission had some dialogue back and forth about the master plan and future land use designation for that area, which is suburban residential, corresponding to either your R1C or R1D zoning district. Ultimately, the Planning Commission voted unanimously, I believe, to approve the rezoning request because they felt like it aligned with the master plan. And again, it's sandwiched right between those residential lots to the north and the commercial property to the south. The other piece that they considered with this is the applicant is only requesting rezoning of the portion of the site that's west off of Van Dyke. So they're actually leaving local commercial along the strip adjacent to Van Dyke, which satisfies those master plan goals related to the local neighborhood commercial in that area. So those were some of the considerations, and Trustee Chaplin, if you want to get into more of that dialogue.
The first question I had was, I know that when we looked at it in the Planning Commission, there were a couple deficiencies in the developmental impact statement. I don't know if we received any of that additional documentation?
Yes, sorry, those have been addressed.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Other than that, the plan we looked at, it aligns with the future land use map for the area that we're in. We looked at some of the neighborhoods around there and what we've developed as far as what we want in that area. They're splitting the parcel so that the western side of the parcel remains an A1, a large lot. And then where the border for the future land use zoning changes, they are switching to the R1D designation. It is similar to properties north of 31 Mile in size. There's a very density, although they're not zoned for an R1D, it does sort of fit with the character of the neighborhood, and it's something that we prescribe for a little more dense. One of the things that we also considered when we were looking at this too is that the development to the south, the commercial condos where the Tractor Supply are, there's a section behind that where there's a multifamily overlay that if developed with that multifamily overlay will also have some higher density in that area. So this would be sort of a change from the multifamily to a D density to maybe a C density north of it. So it would be consistent with the density changes through that area.
What about, today I went to Wendy's for lunch. I got attacked. Everybody was telling me, there was confusion about by Culver's, there'll be a street. Is that true or not? Or I didn't understand it, so I said I would find out.
Yeah, in order to meet the requirements for the
I couldn't eat my
second
lunch,
entrance, just north of Culver's, there's a vacant parcel there, right on that curve, before you have the old driveway that goes into the old Romeo backup well. Through there will be the south drive for this development. If that is, I'm going to probably speak for them, but that's something that's going to be approved or by Macomb County. We don't really have any say over where the roads are going to be allowed to go. If the county approves it, then it goes there. So I had some concerns over that being on a curve, but it's not the worst sightlines in the world.
Two brief items on that, real quick. One is, again, we're not submitting a site plan, it's a concept plan, so even though it's drawn out like that, there's a drive there, but there will have to be some sort of access on Van Dyke. So yes, there will be a drive on there, but the commercial property is owned by this developer. It's not part of this property, right? The drive is not. But yes, so it uses borrowing it, yes.
Sorry, they can't pick you up on the mic, sorry. I'm sorry. I don't think they can hear you in the back either.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, what I was saying is the road would come off of Van Dyke next to Culver's, going back, but I believe also the water main needs to go through that corridor as well to support, the future building of the commercial side and, of course, for the residential side. So that, yeah.
Okay.
And again, I think Trustee Chaplin mentioned this, but any road locations, driveway cuts, that all gets reviewed and approved by Macomb County Department of Roads. So we don't have jurisdiction over that, at least where it comes out to existing roads, right? So that was a concern also adjacent to Sisson to the north. That was something that residents brought up during the public hearing.
Can they put that part of the board packet on the screen? Sorry.
The conceptual?
It's 11.4. Oh, there it is. Thank you.
Thanks. So those roads that are proposed, again, don't have any weight on the rezoning application because this may not be, how an applicant chooses to go forward under site plan review and development. So I know that the concept is shown and there's a lot of questions that come up about that, but those road locations are subject to change.
So everybody knows one of the reasons why we chose to show that was the least impacted to the wetland areas that was going to have to be used to be able to get there, which is like you be asking for trouble because you can't hardly get across that wide area without some type of a bridge or something. And we are staying out of that area altogether by putting the road where we're showing it. I know there's a lot of steps to get there, but that's.
If the county changes where the road goes, does that change your density? Density?
Good. That's an engineering question, actually, but I don't really have an answer.
Yes. I think the key for tonight is that, again, it's a rezoning request. As much as you like to look at this and see what could be, this doesn't really have any impact on that. They'll have to come back for approvals on any development site plan. We'll go through this process all over again if they get the rezoning, when they submit their site plan for development. So there'll be opportunities again to talk about density and placement of roads and things like that. So This is just simply giving them the opportunity to develop that if we change the zoning.
Yeah, I don't know what the current one looks like, but I know there's been at least 2 versions since this one from Urban Land Consultants. I know that the number of usable lots has dropped to somewhere, like I said, between 70 and 72, and that's, we're not at a
They're
final.
playing with the concept of laying the sub out, but the road's going the other direction, going
So
this way.
there's a lot of work to get there, so this.
Yeah, so they're just putting that together.
So I have a question. Do we have any correspondence regarding this from any residents, or do we have any residents here tonight regarding this? So, okay, so sir, that's what I was thinking. I thought we had agenda items earlier.
Yeah.
And we may have missed it because some people do it differently, but we need to hear from you before we talk about this. Sam, please let us know what to do.
Okay, I'll allow, we can have 3 minutes just on this topic only. Please stick to 3 minutes.
That'd be
At
great,
the
sir.
podium, state your name and address.
I don't think most people realize that.
If WBRW put the time.
Hello, my name is Matt Fritz, and I happen to live right there. Right there.
They took it away from you. They took it away.
And you took it off. But anyways, I live right there in the corner of Bush Court. I don't know if anybody's heard of Bush Court before, but I was the first one to put a private road in Washington Township. So I know all about development because I've been doing it for about 70 years now. So anyways, I live right in that corner, right there, and all of a sudden, these people here are coming in with this idea of putting I'm just looking at this here, all this stuff right here, all this stuff in here, and here I am, I'm right here. I'm right here, okay? And they want to put this here, bring this road down here, which actually, this road here is illegal. You cannot do that in Washington Township. And I'm going to tell you why.
Sir,
Yeah, come to the
you
podium.
talk to the microphone because the people at home can't hear you.
I'm going to tell you why you can't do that. Because the township, Washington Township, 45 years ago, they said, because I didn't grant easement to my neighbor wanted to use my road I put in, and I says, no. And I offered it to him for a price. He didn't want to pay the price to use my price. He's got 10 acres next to me, okay, the 10 acres. And anyways, I said no. And so he didn't want to pay any compensation to me and my partners that put the road in. So that thing fell through. He had 10 acres, and we had it split off for him, and he did it for free for him. My buddy was an engineer. Anyways, did it for free. He had 3 splits there in the back. And he says, I don't want to pay anything for the road, for the compensation to use our road. And the road is, the whole 60-foot easement's on our road, so he wouldn't have lost any road frontage or anything. So it's really a good deal. And he told us no. He didn't want to pay for it, but he wanted to use our road. Well, it just so happens that the guy that owns it, his name was Evely. He's the Washington Township supervisor. And he's the one that initiated this rule about you cannot put a road next to private property. Now, I don't know if the lady's here tonight, but there's those 4 houses right up here on 31 Mile Road, on 31, and she's not happy about this going in here, having a road right next to her, and then having 75 pieces of property there, lots. And now, the thing is, you got a road coming off of Van Dyke and one coming off of 31 Mile Road, about 200 yards down from the stoplight there. So all of a sudden, you got 80 families coming in there, so they got the husband and the wife, they probably each have a car. That's 2 times 75 is 150, and they're probably going to have a kid that's probably has their driver's license. So there's a possibility after this development we're there, you have 200 cars coming in and out of Van Dyke every morning and night, going to work, going to school, and buses. Then the school buses. Now we're talking about getting school buses in here, maybe coming down here, down Sisson Street. Sisson Street's about as wide as your desk there. And if you're familiar with the area, and the same thing with 31 Mile Road, that's a paved road, or gravel road right at the end of Sisson there. That's gravel. This is ridiculous to have this kind of density around there. With the roads the way they are, and the 31 Mile Road is as narrow as can be, and it's just not right. Now, what's going to happen, you got to stop, you're going to have such a traffic problem there because you got one stoplight there, and within 200 yards, you got an egress from egress, ingress from Van Dyke, egress, ingress from 31 Mile Road, a couple hundred yards from the light. So what's going to happen when you have 200 cars going out there every morning and night?
No, I get it.
I mean, there's already traffic problems there. If any of you live around here, there's all kinds of traffic problems now. The light, I got to wait for 3 lights sometimes, depending on what time of day it is. But even in the afternoon, there's traffic there, and they're backed up all over. So what do you think is going to happen at night? And like I say, I'm a developer. I mean, I develop property, and I've never had something, and all the people I've ever dealt with, and I've never had anybody object to what I did because they wanted more development. But I don't think Washington Township needs this type of development. And there's a lot of people around me. The last meeting that we had here, there was like 60, 70 people opposed to it. And I don't know if they're here tonight.
The 3 minutes are up, sorry.
But anyways, this is ridiculous, this whole idea here, and I'm glad I can talk to you there and hopefully
Thank you.
get rid of this thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else? Yeah, just come to the podium here. Make sure the clock works.
Okay, I'm Randall Batzer. I live on 31 Mile. I've been around the township for probably 70 years, basically. And I came tonight hoping to get one of these maps to see what's going on, because all the BS that's floating and everything else is going. The exit onto Sisson and 31, I understand they need an exit off 31 and off Van Dyke, or entrance exit. 31 can't handle another 200 to 300 cars a day. We go to get out of our driveway, and sometimes you got to wait 5 minutes. Plus, the traffic that's coming down there is usually, it's probably a 45 mile an hour speed limit. 60, 70 miles an hour is nothing. And that's a gravel train.
Yeah, I know.
Where you come out, excuse me, onto Van Dyke is basically between Culver's and McDonald's. If you ask the sheriff, there's been numerous accidents of people just trying to get out of McDonald's. Gentlemen, to me, that's a blind curve there. Probably poor engineering to start with 100 years ago. But I assumed it would come out on where Bowerman's used to come out, almost across from McDonald's, not down on the curve between Culver's and the waterworks. But then somebody told me, well, no, that's going to be all commercial up there. I think we really need to look at the exits and stuff. It is a pretty high density for the orchard. I'll be very honest with you. That orchard's been there longer, way longer than me. But I understand something's going in there at some time. I would like to see it just stay an orchard, or the township buy it and make it a park.
Don't think we
I actually, Mr. Sieber I love parks. But, I just think the entrance and exits need something, or you better be planning on putting up a traffic light at Sisson. Which would probably be these guys putting up a traffic light at Sisson. But, it's just, there's too many questions before you just approve it. And I understand when he was talking tonight, I heard, hey, this is not in concrete, even if it goes through tonight. It's got to be revamped somewhat. That's just my views on things, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
My name's Deborah Martin, and I grew up in the area, and I'm with Matt. And in all due respect, Mr. DeMille, I am requesting that you build less homes. If you have to build in that area, which it's your property, you have every right to, but this should be denied, this high density. And they should lower it a little bit, because it just cannot handle or sustain what he's proposing. And I don't care how many studies they did. The people that live in the area can tell you what it's going to be like, because they can see what it's like now. and there's school buses. Someone's going to get hurt or killed. It's going to be a very big inconvenience, and people, they live in this township and they enjoy the amenities and the freedom of the nature and everything. And if you crowd us, it's just not going to be right. It's not going to be fair. So in all due respect, we ask that you deny this and make it less dense, less density. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
It's not that time?
Cover your show.
Yeah. My name is Corinne Graper. I live on Dorothy Trail. I travel down 31 Mile all the time because I live off of 31 Mile. A little logic here on this. What we hear all the time is we need that whole west side of the town to be IRT and technology because we need the tax revenue, and that residential is tax neutral or tax negative because it brings a bunch of kids in the school and it populates the schools and the traffic and the roads. And okay, so if we're saying we need business and less residential, but then we're approving subdivisions that cram more people into them, taxing the roads, taxing the schools, it doesn't make logical sense. Why on one hand we're going to say we need more business, and on the other hand we're going to approve residential housing developments that cram a bajillion people into them and cause additional tax issues. So I just wanted to make that point, that those two things are in competition with each other, and it seems illogical to continue to improve subdivisions that cram a lot of people into them. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening. I'm Linda. I live in Carriage Hills. Just a quick note, which I think we all know this, kind of what these people have been saying. I think sometimes we forget and we're losing the flavor of Washington Township. We have a beautiful community here, and it is quite dense. I mean, most of us moved away from very high dense areas to come out here. And so I just think you have to remember, what is Washington Township? What's the flavor that we want? We see so many beautiful presentations from you, Sam, throughout our community, and they are wonderful. And I just wanted to encourage you or remind you guys who we are and what, that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to be talking about this area right here in the corner that's colored in red. Because I lived on 31 Mile Road for a long time, a little over 20 years. And I do not think that the road could be like that, because if I'm at Sisson, it seems like there's a house in front of me, from what I recollect. I haven't been down there for a while. So what is this that's colored in red? It's real obvious on the packet. You can barely see it up there. So is it an extension of Sisson, or is it a brand-new road? Yeah, you can't see it at all there. Do you have your packet? It's between lot number 1 and the first private residence immediately to the east. It's where the road looks like it's coming straight and then it does a slight bend. It's that portion coming off of 31 Mile Road where the red portion actually looks like it's right into the road.
Is it where there's like a 30, there's a 30 degree or 30 across stitch?
I can't. If I could approach you, I'll show you.
Sure, of course.
Approach the bench.
Okay, right here is this red, right up there. That's the red.
think it's just a pipe.
And if I remember right, this house is right in front of Sisson, so it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so are they going to get rid of that house?
No. No, that's private property.
Okay, so are we going to eat into that proposed road by that red line? Anyways, that's my question. And I disagree with it, and I have friends that still live there, and they weren't even notified about this, and it's going to be adjacent to their south and their west side of their property. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be back up later.
Good evening. My name is Kirill Petkov, known as Tony the Barber. Quick comment on the 31 Mile development. Just keep in mind that on 32 Mile, there will be a data center. So, I like so please think twice about what kind of price you're going to ask about your development. Because if this thing goes through, there will be very sizable shifts in pricing. Okay? Thank you. And hopefully 32 Mile doesn't receive theirs.
Hi, I'm Danielle Barrett. I live on 28 Mile in Washington, and I attend way too many meetings now, so they're coming together. And I remember in the last Planning Commission meeting, the development that's at 27 in Jewel, I believe that only has one entrance. It doesn't dump out onto Jewel, also only 27. I don't know the density difference between this plan and that one, but is it possible to just skip the 31 Mile road here if it's comparable to the development on 27 in Jewel? And also, we have a 3-county, project at 26 in Hayes, because 26 comes at a 30-degree angle. But here on Van Dyke, we're going to have a topographical change and a curve, and it just doesn't make sense. And I know that's road commission and not you guys, but it should be looked at closer.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
That it? Anyone else? One, twice, get close. I feel like it's a public hearing. Close.
Does the, I have a question, does the ordinance still exist, saying that you cannot put a subdivision next to a private road?
So in our private road ordinance, you can't have a private road that abuts a private piece of property without that property being subject to that private road agreement. That's the reference that was made. So when Bush Court went in and he had made the reference of the neighbor not wanting to participate with that, that was where that ordinance, you can't have, that's our private road ordinance. That's not land development or the development for a site condo.
Okay. Yes, please. Yeah.
I know there was a lot of, you guys heard, did you want a chance to answer all that?
Yeah, so we'll start with that issue. Start with, again, this is not the site plan, this is not the plan, this is the concept plan. In this drawing, though, where the red line is, there's a 30-foot buffer. That is the requirement for a, oh, be able to top on?
It is 40, so that you're aware. There is a 40-foot requirement for
And
the
it-
road.
and it may,
That's the buffer.
yeah, it may say 30, it would be 40, the buffer was, our engineer would take care of that in the site plan approval. So that's what the red line is.
Can't see it.
Oh, there it is.
It'll go up.
Try this one.
Yeah, try the one up there.
There we go.
I can see. Oh, there it is.
So there's the red line. That is the buffer. Right now, it's drawn in at 30-foot. That was put in by our engineer. He will take care of the drawing, make sure that that's far enough away from that private property. And again, reiterate, this is a concept plan. It is not a site plan. A lot of these issues are going to be addressed in the site plan process, speaking with your engineers, going through your ordinance. We have a private engineer who is drawing this. I couldn't do this. Mike can't do this. We have people who are professionals who will make sure that it conforms with your ordinances, and your engineers will make sure it conforms with the ordinances. The road commission will make sure the roads conform. The Department of Public Works will make sure that the underground works. There's a lot of steps before we get to a final site plan. We're asking today is just the portion to the east be rezoned to R1D so we can move to the next step.
So what happens if it's not rezoned? What's your plan?
Don't know. So we're moving forward with this plan at this time.
If you take a look at the area that is wetlands, and you take a look at the area that's not being built upon, it looks perhaps distorted because there's a lot of lines and a lot of numbers on one part of it. But the rest of the area, John, if you could shine a light where the pond is, next to the pond, where the creek is, all that is being open space. There's nothing going to be built there. So if you would think about, for say, the density of lines there and shift them over there, it wouldn't look like it is if we could utilize that specific area. But that area is open, so there's a lot of area that we're not building upon. That's all I wanted to say is, so. The density was the question, so I answered that question. Oh, sorry.
Sir, can I ask you, how long have you owned this property?
Not long, first of the year.
Okay.
Not
Tony,
long,
can you
first of the
open the
year.
light?
So you bought the property knowing full well it was zoned agricultural?
Well, what I knew that there was almost $1 million cost for utilities that are put a burden on this parcel, which the zoning in which that we're asking meets the master plan, and knowing that there's multiple on the property that we're purchasing behind the old Kmart's, which is, I'm assuming, 8-10 units per acre, where we're looking at less than 4 units per acre. But if you take in the wetlands area, you're probably, I don't know, I didn't do the math, to be honest with you, but you're probably less than 3 units per acre, which is average in every subdivision that pretty much exists around. You do have some different zonings that are less, but when you have the burden of the water and sewer of almost $1 million on that parcel, I don't know how else you could pay for that $1 million if you don't have the minimum amount that you can work it with, which is that parcel that we've got the lines drawn on. You add in the piece that we're not able to work with. Either somebody made a grave injustice in charging the parcel with that duty of providing 900,000 or whatever it was, close to that number. You guys must have it somewhere. In the burden for the water and sewer, how would this work? I mean, you can't ask a single homeowner to pay 800,000. You can't ask 5 homeowners to pay. You got to break it down. That's all. I mean, you'd ask, so I'm bringing up the points. It's not a greedy developer or anything. It's not about that. It's about being able to pay for the utility. Washington Township's a wonderful area. I agree with everybody. This is a wonderful area to be. There's no doubt about it.
I guess maybe I didn't ask the question properly.
I'm sorry.
No, I could be wrong, but so you bought it, it was zoned agricultural, and that's how you purchased it?
Well, that was the zoning that it had, but we checked the master plan, and we knew what the master plan said. With the entitlements of the $800 million value, the items behind next to this parcel is multiple. So if you have multiple at 8-10 units per acre, we're talking less than probably, if you add in the area that we can't build in, and again, did do the math, but I'm thinking you're less than 3 units per acre, maybe 2.5, 2.7. We don't have overdensity here at all. It's not.
Just to answer your question,
I'm sorry.
Somebody's going to have this property knowing it's ag, and if you're going to rezone it, at that point, they will have known it's ag, right? So some owner at point that will know it's ag, moving it on to the higher density. And as he brought up, effectively, it's 2 acres or less than 2 acres, 2 units an acre, right? It's this, which again, reiterate, not the plan, somewhere between 70 and 75 over 40 acres. So that's not, if that was a flat piece of farm ground, 40 acres, and you were doing R1D and you had no problems with topo or drains, I mean, you would have double the number of units in that space under this zone.
I don't know who I should be asking this question, if it's Kayla, Dana, or Attorney Siebert, but my question theoretically is there a way to zone it for what they need, however, to make sure that we can package it, that we can say only for this size lots, only for, that's what I'd like to know. Like, how do we protect small lots from happening or getting this too far down where then they're spending their money, and then at the end of the day, we don't like the product?
So,
Well, I guess from my standpoint, because I'm not as versed in the language, to me, density means small lots. Teach me.
yes, so the R1D zoning request, it's single-family homes. That's the permitted use in that district. So it's the same as any other residential zoning district. The difference in your different R1 zoning districts, you have R1A, R1B, R1C, it's just the lot size. So R1D is the 10,000 square foot lot size. That's about a quarter-acre lot. That's consistent with 3 of the properties right now that are immediately adjacent to this site to the north. It's also consistent with that master plan. The township took 3 years to develop that master plan and the future land use map that accompanies it, and specifically says that this area is future planned for R1C and R1D. So when the applicant's talking about referring to the master plan, that's what they're looking at, is in addition to that zoning that applies, they're looking toward what the township published as their future vision for that area, which is that suburban residential.
Okay, 2 more questions, I promise. So is there an R1 something that requires a bigger lot than 10,000 square feet? Okay.
There are.
Okay, and how many years ago, I should know the answer and I don't, I'm embarrassed to say, how many years ago was that master plan completed?
2024 is when it was adopted. But this board cannot say, right, you have an application before you for an R1D rezoning request. You cannot say, no, but we'll give you R1C. That's not how this would work. You would have to deny it, and that actually prevents the applicant from coming back for a year at least for that rezoning request. They would have to reconfigure their application.
Thank you.
I'm like, to piggyback off of what Danielle said, actually, this reminds me of Yatesview. The prior board approved it, even though I didn't agree with it, without a site plan, and then they change owners, and we're left arguing with the new owners how the layout is. I'm not comfortable without a set plan to rezone. I don't know.
Unfortunately, Mr. Supervisor, that's the procedure that you have in place.
I know.
You know, Bob, if I can ask you to chime in, because we had a discussion not long ago, it was on a different site about the anticipated uses in buying under a particular zoning, and I think that's pertinent to this discussion too.
Yeah, you had asked me at a prior board meeting whether or not you could make the argument that a landowner bought a piece of property that was encumbered by a particular zoning classification, and therefore they assumed the risk and they knew that the zoning classification was there. That case was decided by the U.S. Supreme Court 25 years ago in a case called Palazzolo versus Rhode Island. And in that case, the court said you can't tie the hands of a landowner if, in fact, the zoning classification is invalid. You can't tie a landowner to an invalid zoning classification because they're a new buyer. So in this particular case, the fact that this gentleman bought the property in January of this year is meaningless. The question is whether or not the zoning classification that currently exists is reasonable, whether or not there's a number of factors, but whether or not the property can be zoned under the current classification, whether or not they have a reasonable expectation of a profit, et cetera. So when you make your decision, up or down, you've got to make it based on certain factors. You have to make a motion and you have to lay out and articulate the facts that support either a motion to deny the rezoning or to support the rezoning request. You can't simply say, motion to deny, period. There's got to be more after the period. You've got to go through all of the relevant factors so that if this is challenged, which it could be, that a reviewing court will have an opportunity to look at the record and see what the rationale for the motion was.
And to that point, there are 13 criteria for the Planning Commission and Board to consider when they're reviewing rezoning applications. Those are in your staff report to refer to as you make your motion.
And Kayla makes a good point. In the Spalding-DeDecker review, there are rezoning criteria. Those are an assembly of factors that are oftentimes considered. You don't have to go through all 12 or 13 factors. The courts usually rely on 3 or 4 when they're reviewing a zoning request. But the point is you have to go through and you have to look at relevant considerations in your decision. Consistency with master plan, consistency with surrounding land uses, consistency with surrounding zoning classifications, traffic, whether or not the infrastructure is there, et cetera. Those are the 4 or 5 major points that you want to take a look at.
I know that when you submitted your developmental impact statement, you did have a traffic piece in there. If you wanted to expand on that, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. It is part of the application. And a requirement of townships, so. And we had a traffic study conducted by Fleece and Vanderbrink, a well-respected engineering firm that does traffic studies professionally. They did a study in January of this year, and it is included in your package, so I'm not going to go through it all together. They did note that there are some issues currently at Van Dyke and 31 and Van Dyke and Traffic Supply. Those currently exist, but the proposed development actually with this plan and this density, the 77, they concluded that the minor increases in delay and a minimal impact. And so they did, like I said earlier, they did make 3 recommendations in this traffic study, whether or not you adopt this in terms of light sequencing that may result in better traffic flow.
Every time I see one of those, I get a little perturbed, because I live at 27 in Jewel, just like this young lady over here said. And there's going to be no minimal impact putting 550 homes on the corner. Well, right now, to try to go eastbound on 26 Mile Road, anytime during the day, during rush hour, it is backed up over the bridge and then onto the freeway, off the freeway to get back onto 26 Mile Road.
Yeah. I understand the frustration, but we engaged people we need to engage, professionals. They go out there to the site and do their studies in accordance with the requirements of their profession, and they produce the report for your behalf to review. It's numbers. It's not something that we can massage. It's not something that we can, we paid them an extra $500 and they decide to do this or that. I mean, there is a giant fat book that has this number of cars and this section will cause this much delay, and they apply that to their report. And that's what they've done here. And, they have said it would be minimal. They didn't say it's not going to be none, but minimal. And they do say that there are currently issues with the Tractor Supply entry and the corner at 31 and Van Dyke, but those are going to be there whether this is here or not. And this development itself is not going to cause much of an increase in the traffic.
Again, I'll just disagree, because when the corner at 27 and Jewel will be done, they did not take in consideration the other developments that are going north of there next to the high school or to the middle school. So those are going to be additional cars, and that's a dead-end street right there.
Yeah.
And so is Van Dyke and 27 Mile Road. That's a dead-end street.
I have no information about that
I know you
project,
don't, yeah.
and so I can't comment on it.
I understand, but
we've used this firm in the past, and they're highly recommended and highly thought of.
So I will make a motion to deny the request approved by the recommendation by the Planning Commission of the approval for the Groves of Washington proposed rezoning from A1 agricultural residential to R1D single-family residential. I'm doing this at this time, though I just want to know, I just don't think we're ready to handle this right now in that zone. Maybe in the future, but I think where we're at right now, it's not a good fit at the moment.
Without interrupting, but to interrupt, you've got to give specific reasons for your motion.
Well, I'm listening to the residents, so.
All due respect, and this, I know I'm going to get booed, that doesn't count.
No, okay.
You have to look at factors that the court.
For me, I'll agree with you, I'm sorry.
If, for instance, you deny this, which you have a right to do, and if, for instance, this developer decides that he's going to take you on and file a lawsuit, there's going to go through a whole discovery process, they're going to have experts, we're going to have experts, and at the end of the day, the court is going to look at your master plan, you're going to look at your zoning ordinance, going to look at the traffic issues, going to look at the infrastructure, and the court is going to decide, after listening to all the testimony, whether or not the existing zoning classification is reasonable and whether or not the board's decision was based on an adequate record. So if you're going to deny it, which you have a right to do, for the following reasons, A, B, C.
A for me is the traffic at that intersection. brutal right now. So,
Can I just read this off? real quick?
yes, sir.
So for number 6, that's on the Spalding to Decker, to the capacity of utilities and service, the capacity of street system to safely and efficiently accommodate the expected traffic generated by uses permitted in the requested zoning district. So, traffic.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
Well, also, can it go from instead of R1D to R1A?
No, the applicant came in and they made a decision. They decided that they wanted to ask for a rezoning from the current to R1D. That was their decision to make. They could have come in at the planning commission and asked for what's called a conditional rezoning. They could have said, but they did not, I would like to rezone the property to R1D, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to restrict it to the following. They could have kept the number of lots to a minimum. They could have defined the size of the square footage of the home. They could have done that. They didn't, and the municipality can't impose that requirement on them. That can only be done by the applicant. It's laid out clearly in the Township Zoning Enabling Act. They didn't do that. They want it all or none. And so at this point, you are either voting to grant the rezoning to R1D or to deny it. And the reason that you've set forth apparently is traffic, and that's it.
Well, also the unknown of the lot size, I don't understand.
Well, as long as they meet your zoning ordinance, what's the issue? Again, I'm not arguing with you. I'm trying to tell you what a court is going to look at.
I'm saying we're Washington, we're known for larger lots, I don't know, that's my.
Well, you have R1D zoning classifications, and it defines the lot size.
And just as a final comment, I know you've got a motion on the floor. Was it supported?
No.
Clark
Sort
Brown
of.
did.
Okay.
Was it?
Yeah, we had a lot of discussion in the planning commission over this one, and it was not our favorite development. But I think the difficult part with stuff like this, as the data center people know, is it's an incremental process. We have to look at each piece in its own regard and talk about what's allowed to talk about with that piece. This is a rezoning request. All this stuff about the development and street placement and lot sizes for houses and placement of stuff, all that is something we really should be considering when we talk about the rezoning. We have to look at whether it meets the criteria that we ask people to meet for a rezoning request. And ultimately, the Planning Commission, along with both of our engineering experts, Spalding and Giffords, decided that this met those requirements. The Planning Commission voted to approve it. Both of the experts recommended to approve it.
I thought Spalding put R1C or R1D in that.
We have in our master plan for our future land use something called suburban residential zoning. And that spans R1D and R1C, 10 to 15,000 square foot lots. This area has been designated in the master plan for that size lot. So it gives property owners the ability to come in and ask for R1C or R1D. If they come in and ask for R1D, we can't automatically say, well, you can only have R1C. We have to go, we have to be consistent with what was put down in the master plan by the previous board. So we don't get a whole lot of leeway in rewriting the rules now. But, we have to be careful what reasons we disapprove this for. Make sure that we follow our own rules and the criteria that are laid out. May not be our favorite.
So if they sell the property, the next owner can come back and rezone it again?
The zoning will stay with the property. If they were to sell the property, we'll still have the R1D zoning attached to it. Once the zoning is changed, it sticks with the property no matter who owns it. So, but again, we have rules for rezoning that we can't just ignore either. We have to make sure that we're consistent with each developer.
So let me make it clear. If this is in alignment with the master plan, there's really not much we can say.
Well, no, we could still deny it, but we have to.
Not according to what I'm hearing.
We have to have justifications for that denial.
Well, the justification, the problem is.
When it goes in front of a judge.
I don't agree with the
master
master plan, but that's not a reason to deny it.
It is consistent with the future land use map in our master plan.
Yeah,
You were a judge looking at that.
I didn't design that.
I understand that. But that is, a document that is owned by the township we put out there that says this is the type of development we want for that area. If you're a third party looking at that.
Right, I get that.
So if we deny it based on traffic, Attorney Siebert, is that enough of a reason if they were to go to court?
It's weak.
I was going to say.
It's extremely weak. Because if it were challenged,
Right.
the argument that the landowner would make to a judge is, hey, judge, the township drafted the master plan, I didn't, and I bought a piece of property to put in a use that's consistent with what they planned it for. And the properties surrounding it are consistent with this. So I played by their rules. When I got to the meeting, I got killed, and I don't know why. That's the argument in a short, version of what's going to happen.
I'd like to make a motion to table this to give the board another 2 weeks to look at this.
Support.
I support.
I agree.
You can withdraw your motion. You didn't get a
I can withdraw my
Sorry.
motion. Thank you.
Withdraw.
No, Supervisor, I agree with you.
Yeah, we need more time.
That's a motion by Praviti, supported by Stevenson. If no questions, roll call.
Praviti?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Reinhold?
Yes.
Mylum?
Yes.
Chaplin?
Yes.
Nicely?
Yes.
Brown? Yes.
Sorry. We'll reconvene on May 20th then. Thank you, sorry
Thank you so
about
much.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry
Thank
about
you
that.
so much.
Yeah, you're welcome
Oh,
back. Yeah, May 20th. May 20th. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it'll be-
You can present again.
Good move.
You can present again.
Is this going to end before I die, or? Yeah, but no, but it's a matter of time, only a month or a year, what's a year?
No, May 20th will be a decision either way. Yeah.
He closed on that on March 5th on that property. And then started clear cutting it. And the day before, they said they jumped the gun and they were sorry. And now there's a stack
I get
of
it.
trees torn out as long as this building in 2 areas behind people's homes.
No, I get it, yeah.
And it's all clear cut.
Okay, I know.
200-year-old trees are cut.
It's also personal private property. I can't.
I know it's his property.
Yeah, it's,
If you deny it, can't he make it less dense?
no.
I thought the state has a ban against cutting down trees like that.
No.
Who made this?
It's a right to farm.
Aren't you guys in township?
Yes.
But the stuff like this happened before we were even involved, so.
Okay, I'm sorry. We can't have open discussion like that. Please come May 20th. We'll make a decision that
Is there
meeting.
a possibility that
Next is 11 point. Yeah, you feel free to tell all your
Right,
friends and family.
May 20th, yeah, we'll revisit.
Okay, I need to bring it back to order, sorry. 11.6, the Michigan Community Media WBRW Agreement Contract. What?
You skipped 11.5.
Brian,
Oh, the brine.
we need salty wine.
11.5, the Macomb County Department of Roads brine renewal contract. This is an annual contract we do at the county. They pay for 2 brining service, we pay for 1. It's pretty cut and dry. We've been doing this for many years. It's a good deal for the township. It's for the dirt roads.
Oh,
I'll make, we also got a limestone one coming up that might be at the next meeting, but
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the brine contract with the county.
Support?
Supported by Brown.
Do we have to include the dollar amount?
I don't know.
$31,006.80.
Yeah, it's one of the 3, $31,006.80.
Yes.
Sorry, did you second?
I did.
Oh, Brown, sorry.
I was going to, I just didn't get it
Oh,
out.
sorry.
It's all right.
Any other questions? Otherwise, roll call.
Praviti?
Yes.
Brown? Yes. Chaplin?
Yes.
Reinhold?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Mylum?
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed.
Audrey, excuse me, Clerk Brown, do we have a GL set up that we can automatically set this aside so we know that it's where it's coming from? For the 31,000? Okay.
I'm sure we do. Yes, we'll do that. Yep.
Next is 11.6, the Michigan Community Media WBRW agreement. At the budget workshop and then at the budget meeting, it was approved. They're asking to do a one-time, for this current budget, $270,000 to honor the full contract, not related to the cable franchise fees we're getting, a one-time $45,000 use of the fund balance, and then a line item to be given to Michigan Community Media to help with health benefits, up to $30,000, but we've gotten news that it's under 10 grand, but, so we would need Attorney Sieber to draft up a one-page amendment to the contract if the board approves for these amounts. Did I explain it okay?
Yeah, I just need, yeah, we've talked about this before. I just need to know from the board what that amendment is. In other words, if you're going to, I think you have a couple of components. One is the 270, irrespective of your fees, whether they're up or down. I need to know the time period, so it would be for the 1 year?
Everything will be for this budget year.
Well, from when to when?
April 1, 2026 to March 31st.
Okay, so they would get a fixed sum of 270,000 irrespective of the franchise fees.
Yeah.
Cable fees. They would also get a lump sum of 45,000 in that period to add on to the 270. And then what's the third component?
It was to be used for health benefits up to 30,000, but after speaking with the health benefits, it'll be under 10.
Why not just add 10 to the 45 and keep it simple?
I guess that's fine. Instead of doing the up to, just do the 10 grand.
Otherwise, we're
10.
going to have to put a provision in the agreement where they're going to have to get us the medical costs. And again, we ought not be, nor should we be paying.
No, the contract's in their name, not ours.
Yeah. Pardon?
The contract with the health benefits is.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
But in the agreement we're going to amend, we're going to have to put a provision in to deal with that 10,000. And it's
It's just easier to make it a line item.
flat item.
Okay.
It's 10,000. So we'll give them 270 plus 45 and 10 for the 1 year. If that's what the board wants. I just need to know how to
Yeah.
draft it, that's all.
So if the board agrees, we'll do a one-page amendment to the contract.
We're doing it just for 1 year?
Well, we'll revisit it next year. I don't know if we want to give them that fund balance every year.
Okay.
We can talk about it next year.
And we don't know what the cost of insurance changes too each year.
And the cost of insurance could change, yeah.
Right, but how do they hire people not knowing whether they're going to be able to pay them health insurance the second year? I wouldn't
It's
want
up to you guys. You guys are open to make whatever you
I wouldn't
want
want
to
to be an employer in that situation.
You can
Well,
say what you want.
That line item, that will cover us giving our employees insurance, yes, that part we would prefer cover the balance of the contract. Again, so that our employees know that for that balance of, of time, they will have insurance. If you want to put a stipulation on the 45,000, we understand that.
Right. We can revisit that every year, but I don't know how as an employer you can say, well, you'll have health insurance this year, but we don't know if you will next year or the year after.
No, that's
kind of weird.
You could, I mean, again, he'll word it however the board
Get
votes.
that change? 45,000.
So let me make sure, because when I write this tomorrow, I'm going to, so the 270 will be fixed for 1 year, April 1 of this year to March 31st of next year, irrespective of the cable fees. We will pay them an additional 45,000 for that same period.
Yeah.
But we will pay them 10,000 each year for the remainder of the contract. Is that what you're saying?
But the 45 is something that would come up each year.
I don't know what that's for, but
That could change,
That part could change. Okay. Thank you, guys. I don't know, as an employer, I don't know how you would do that. It's like,
And again, we can always revisit it next year if there needs to be an adjustment.
I get that, but I mean,
So.
I think I
it's a
would
good
want to be
idea.
assured that the funds are there for me to provide a benefit.
No, I understand where you're going with that,
And-
makes sense.
Not have to worry about whether it's going to be available next year or not.
Can I make a suggestion? I don't know if this is a popular one or not. Our role is to take care of public funds. This is not a public fund entity. Why can't we create, having them keep all the funds that we receive, have them run it on their own instead of going back and forth like this?
I think it's a good discussion, but I don't think it's the right time for that discussion. This is,
I'm just bringing it up, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something worth talking about, but
Yeah,
Make
we
sure they
get
take care
we get
first.
the money from the cable company. And then we're supposed to spend it in a certain way, which we are. And we have more funds than they're getting, and they need more funds, and that's why we're having this discussion, right? I mean,
But I'm saying we also have funds to take care of the building and equipment purchases and stuff.
Right.
Well, that
Can't
could,
turn it all
yeah,
over.
they could set that up on their own, but just, it's a pass-through, but something to talk about.
I get it. Makes sense.
So right now I'm hearing a one-time 270 in full a one-time 45K, and a duration of the contract for the 10K.
The 270 is a one-time.
Yeah, I thought the 270 was going to be set as well for the length of the contract.
I don't know, I'm trying to keep everything. We can visit that next year, I think, but I don't know, it's up to you.
It's fine. I'll go along with
Isn't
it.
the 270 part of the contract that we have with them now?
Yes.
That is what
But
it
it's
currently
based
is.
on the
That's the
packages
current-
we get.
Well, it's based on what we,
The current contract says 270 or some number calculated based on funds received from Comcast.
The current agreement that you have, the original base agreement, provides after the 270, says future annual base income adjustments, that's to the 270, will be equal to the overall percentage increase or decrease that Washington Township receives from existing cable providers. The annual adjustment will be based on franchise fees collected during the previous calendar year. So there's a formula that 270 theoretically fluctuates every year. As I hear the board potentially tonight, you're going to lock that 270 in with no
I
adjustment.
just thought that's the way the contract was, but
No,
it's not.
it should vary every year.
But then you would have to also edit the part of the contract that states, or you're making an amendment though, correct? You're amending it?
Yeah, this will be a second amendment.
A second amendment? Well, because it also says in the contract that we are not responsible for wages, healthcare. It says that.
We don't need to put that in, we're not
We don't need it?
anyway. They're an independent contractor. You're simply giving them a lump sum
Okay.
on the good faith that they're going to use that money.
Right.
There's going to be nothing in this agreement that says that 10 grand goes to medical. They can use it for whatever they want. But they're going to come back the following year, and if they don't use it for that medical, I suppose that there's going to be a penalty. Right? They're representing to you that 10,000 is going to go to paying a premium for their employees.
I'm just trying to get through this budget year, we're already in it, so.
Yeah, okay.
I think the 270 for 1 year, the 45 for 1 year, and the 10 for the term of the contract is reasonable.
Is that your motion?
That's my motion.
Second.
Does the board want to see, if it passes, does the board want to see a draft of this at your next meeting, or if I circulate it to Sam and we're good with it, the 3 full-time officials, and you're good with it, can he sign it, or do you want it back? You want to see it? Just so I know.
It's up to you.
I'd be fine with it,
I'd be
just
fine.
circulating it, approving.
It-
And Sam approve.
The 10 and the 270, what's the difference between those? Why doesn't it just 280 for this year? I don't understand.
Because we're
Will be for
lining it
that
up
year.
with that article of the bylaw, or the contract, sorry.
The 270 language is consistent with the contract.
But that's subject to fluctuation.
Right, so we're moving around
So-
that, but we're still keeping the intended amount, and then we're just a plus.
But if you drop the 270 to 250, then the 10,000 doesn't mean anything anyways.
You want a quarter or 2 dimes and a nickel? I mean, there's a motion on the table.
Okay.
Okay, motion by Chaplin, supported by Dennis. That would include the 3 full-time can review the contract without bringing it back to the board?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, so
include that in
pass.
the motion.
Okay. If no other question, roll call.
Chaplin?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Reinhold?
Yes.
Mylum?
No.
Praviti?
Yes.
Brown? No? Nicely?
Excuse me, yes.
Okay, motion passed.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, thank you. Now, comments from audience on non-agenda items, 3 minutes. Please state your name and address. Please address the board, not the audience.
My name is Paul Reno. I'm a resident of Bruce Township, and I'm going to talk really fast because I know you're going to hold me to these 3 minutes. So my question is to the attorney. If I own a business, is it a violation ethically or a conflict of interest if I sponsor an event and I have people from Washington Township Board attend that? Yes or no?
Sorry, it's not a question and answer.
I'm not answering this.
Yeah, you're not, he's not.
Okay,
You have 3
so you're not answering my questions. Okay, so it's my perception that that's a violation. So if I own a business and I sponsor an event, and I invite the board, and they're going to have drinks or dinner or whatever, that's an ethical violation. Now, if I have an attorney firm, and I'm going to come before this board, and I'm going to represent, like this gentleman did for the potential developer over there, and I know that I'm going to come before this board, and then I sponsor an event, and then I invite all the board members there, it's my perception that that's ethically and legally wrong. So, likewise, I believe that it's wrong that if I have a business and I'm going to try to conduct business in Washington Township, that I'm making contributions to people's campaign funds. Likewise, with a legal attorney firm, if I'm going to represent somebody and I'm going to stand here and represent them, I shouldn't throw a party or contribute campaign funds. Okay, section number 2. I'm driving down the road like most people. I said, hey, they got construction going on at 32 in Van Dyke. Hey, what's going on? Well, everyone's, hyper about the data center. What is the deal here? So you got people that are 80 feet from the road that are trying to tunnel under. I find out they're trying to tunnel under the road. So it's been forever since there was anybody there. So I started to investigate. I started calling Macomb County. It's not our deal, it's MDOT. So then MDOT said, it's not our deal, it's Washington Township. So my understanding is that they put the barrels out there for safety. The safety of the workers and the safety of the people driving down the road, okay? So I was told today that they encountered boulders, okay? And they only have one side of the road blocked off, but they have people, workers, when they're out there, they're on both sides of the road. So they encountered boulders. They removed the boulders, and then when they remove the boulders, all of a sudden this land or this sand or whatever starts moving underneath the earth. Okay, well, they haven't been out there for a number of weeks, so you put out this thing to the residents of Washington Township, this is why the road is closed down. So I know from my previous employment that the road is about 12 foot. That's the standard lane size on an expressway. So you got 24 foot of road, and even though they're not working on it, you still have it closed down. It's closed down because of you guys, because you're saying.
Okay, thank you for your comment.
No, it's not safe.
No, yeah, it is, thank you.
No, you said that it's not safe, but it's on one lane. So you're telling me that one lane isn't safe, but now that I've diverted all the traffic to the other lane and all the weight is in that traffic, that you
Your
keep
time
the road
limit is
open?
up.
You're
time limit is
inconveniencing
up.
all these people.
Your time limit is up.
Okay, well,
Thank
you need to open the road.
Okay. Apparently, he's been in the tunnel there, he knows.
Carlos Pisano, live here in Washington Township. Talking to the community, I have the opportunity to listen to the concerns many of the residents have about the proposed data center. And something that I think is very valuable is having the chance to hear from both who are excited about something like this and all of them who are joining us in this important fight. From all of the discussions and exchanges that I've had, there is one that stuck with me. It bothered me. It upset me. And I want to share this with the board and the community. This is what they said. These big companies, with all the money in the world they possess, they're capable of paying out any type of penalties anybody will put in front of them. They said that this community has no power, and it is nothing compared to them. What they mean is that you, the board, this township government, and the people of the community are nobody. That we don't matter. That we're only a minor nuance for them. And they're willing to do whatever they want with us and our community. The work of the Planning Commission and the community group is very important and very powerful. It is in our Constitution, and it is the basis that created this country. We, the people, have the power to decide what is best for us. And this is what we're working on very hard. The true power you, the board, have is strong enough to show the community you serve how committed you are and the positive difference you can make. A clear example of the power the board holds is, if you don't agree with the way your processes are, you're capable to make changes to those processes. That is the power you have. If the board thinks it makes more sense to have a plan submitted for a rezoning proposal, you can do that. You can revisit that. You can argue all you want from all the proposals you have, and you always come to the same conclusions. I wish we had this. I wish we had that. You can do that. This issue has brought so many people together from all walks of life, different points of views, ideas, beliefs, and quoting the last New York Times article about this issue in Michigan, when it comes down to our backyard, we realize we're really just the same people. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Corinne Graper, Washington Township. I want to talk today. Months ago, the Stop the Washington Township Data Center Committee and many residents asked the board to hire a noise expert and environmental health and safety expert. You all did hire a noise expert. Thank you for that. I have not seen on the agenda any discussion about hiring an environmental health and safety expert. I would ask you all to make that a priority and get that on the agenda. In case you don't know what an environmental health and safety expert does, they are hired by businesses to ensure regulatory compliance with OSHA and EPA regulations, and they manage risks to prevent illness, injury, and environmental harm. They inspect business facilities, train employees on safety protocols, investigate incidents, and maintain safety equipment to protect both workers and the environment. It seems like a really smart person for you all to hire to help inform the ordinance creation that's happening right now. So nobody here nor anybody that we have on staff is an environmental health and safety expert. That is a gap and a risk for our community right now. Especially since we don't totally understand the environmental impacts of data centers, what we do know is that there's been many reports of health concerns, including RFK Jr.'s recent declaration that the Department of Health and Human Services will be investigating the health impacts of data centers. I don't know if you've heard that recently, but you can Google it. And they're investigating the impact of data centers on people who live and work near them and their exposure to EMF radiation and its ability to break through the blood-brain barrier. That's from the current Secretary of Health and Human Services. Ironically, we also have the Trump administration loosening federal EPA regulations. Those are environmental regulations last summer. He only did that for data centers to accelerate the growth of data centers in communities like ours. What you will notice is that he did not loosen EPA regulations for all industries, and he didn't do that because they're important to protect our water and our soil and our air, but he made that exception for data centers. That helps data centers grow faster, but keeps local communities vulnerable, right? It's growth at our own expense. So since we don't have federal regulations protecting us if a data center comes in, and our state regulations have gaps, for example, there are no state regulations on how much water they can use, what type of chemicals they can use in their cooling liquid. They encourage them to use glycol, but they don't require it. So we need an environmental health and safety expert to protect our town. It's probably, $10K? What's the big risk, right? You hire them, they're ineffective, no big deal. You don't hire them, and we have gaps, and we taint our soil, our air, our water, and our wells. That's a big risk. You don't want that on your shoulders, I'm sure. I don't want that for our town. So we deserve that you guys discuss this and put this on the agenda for a discussion, and I just hope you go ahead and hire them. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Holly Bishop, and I live 1 mile from the proposed data center. We hope your time with the acoustic expert has been productive and informative, and I hope that you continue to further your learning with more experts, such as an environmental health and safety expert. Thank you, Corinne. And safety expert to address how this constant and hazardous noise impacts the ecosystem and people's quality of life. The expert tried to ease our worries about low frequencies and how we're just dealing with fans and generators and equipment found in commercial areas, just in a larger scale than what they're used to, and that really does worry us. There is not enough experience or information, and with all due respect, wouldn't the time that these generators are running and the quantity of fans generate more sound and more vibration? During the planning and commissioning meeting, there were concerns voiced about noise penetrating nearby homes, like maybe 1 mile away. These were very low frequencies, and they move in waves that travel farther and through materials that high frequencies cannot penetrate. This expert stated it will be inaudible sound, and there isn't a lot of structures to study criteria of what is expected on the impacts of people's health, and that continues to worry us. We know there have only been studies for 8 hours on adults only, so studies haven't been done for the 24 hours that these generators could run, and they haven't looked at the impact on children, expecting mothers, livestock, and honeybees, as those are prime targets. We know there are healing and harmful frequencies. The harmful frequencies cause stress, anxiety, and hearing damage, triggering fight or flight responses, having rapid heart rate, shallow breathing, and muscle tension. People's nervous systems will be disrupted around the clock. We won't be able to rest, heal, learn, or produce. Children specifically could be within 1 mile of the center or warehouse for large periods of the day. They live nearby, go to school nearby, work, and play sports outside nearby. It's our responsibility to raise our children and family in safe environments, not environments that will be knowingly disrupting their development, most specifically their cognitive development. There are so many disasters happening right now. Please don't contribute to the demise of humanity. We need you, and we trust that you're going to protect us in our home. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Thank you. Good evening, Danielle Barrett, Washington Township. Just as Corinne and Holly already mentioned, we feel that it's even more critical to the development of the ordinances to include consultation from an environmental health and safety expert. And the residents were disappointed to see that the May Planning Commission meeting was canceled. We were really hoping for an opportunity to review the draft ordinances in the month of May. In light of not having that opportunity, I'd respectfully ask Trustee Chaplin or possibly Kayla to give an update on the progress of the ordinances in the next agenda item for updates.
Hello, everyone. My name is Camille Allensworth. I live on Dulwich here in Washington Township. Thanks for having us here. One is just a question for thought. You talked about the fees that the township wastewater facility would be required to pay if they had excess of those certain chemicals in the plant, and that's why we had that emergency purchase of that mixer. And I just want to bring to light that we've already heard that the treatment plant is not equipped to handle the type of chemicals that a data center would be processing. And so I just want you to consider what would the fees be for those kind of things, and what are we willing to pay if we don't have the ordinances covering those gaps? What would we be willing to pay as a township to cover for the data center? And then now separate. Trustee Milam, you mentioned that you asked if people had things to say about the Grove. And I really just want to highlight something that I've seen absent, and you all know that I'm all up in the minutes for all the meetings, Dana, and many people spoke about this, and I think it's very concerning. At the Planning Commission, they spoke about this. Many people did, about the trees, which you heard tonight too, and other issues. And I just think it's concerning that the board, who has the ultimate say, actually didn't know about those things. So you're kind of, the expectation is that the township has to show up at every meeting and do this so that you have the full picture, instead of, trusting the process, as we say, that information will come back to you, the township's concerns and the things that were brought up. I want to highlight that the Planning Commission minutes have stopped including what is actually stated in the concerns. It just says individuals commented on, individuals spoke with concerns, but it doesn't mention the concerns. That should change. Those concerns should be listed there, because you have access to the minutes, and if you don't have access to the minutes that say what the concerns are being brought up, you should be watching the meetings, because you do have the ultimate say. And I really do appreciate that you're being thoughtful about it, but all of the issues will come back to y'all to make the decision. And I would like to know, in the update, what is the status of the open Planning Commission position? Because in the last meeting, there were only 4 people who were voting, and we're up against a pretty big fight with a lot of development coming. So we really need full cooperation on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Valerie. I wanted to talk more about the sewer plant issue in the data center, the water runoff. I was watching a video of another board. They were discussing how they're going to handle the excess water to the sewer plant. And I already know that 4.25 billion gallons of sewage and treated sewage get dumped into the Great Lakes every single day. I know your sewer plant's not that big. So if this data center comes in, where is this excess water going to go, and can you handle it? Not only the chemicals in it, but can you handle the quantity of the water that's going to be coming through? Because it could be millions, and I just didn't think that any of you had even considered that, so I just wanted to throw that out there, that you might want to consider that. Thank you.
Thank you.
As you see, I'm not reading anything. Tony, the Barber, Petkov, Kirill Petkov. Let me bring a little common sense to the conversation. I think it's safe to say that all of us, the people on this side and the people on this side, agree on one thing. Nobody wants to live next to data center. Even the sponsors, the creators, the innovators bringing those data centers to us, they don't want to live next to data centers. Hyperscale data centers. I have visited personally a smaller scale data center. That's livable. Hyperscale is beyond human imagination. Every time you'd say, and I'll give you a Washington Township example. The data center that eventually is being proposed here equals 100 Washington Townships. The consumption of energy, water, gas, discharge of harmful emissions, and all kinds of things. Just for the sake of conversation, this is not a real proposal. How about, instead of placing the data center or discussing the location of the data center on the east side, how about if we put it west of Mound on the west side? The zoning on the east side is A1, the zoning on the west side is A1. So let's make the battle of the east side and the west side. Use your imagination, your talents to present your case, which you have not presented yet, to your neighbors. How about Bradbury subdivision? How about the Seven Lakes? Tell them how wonderful this project is, how beneficial this project will be for the township, and see how many takers or approvals or how much support you're going to get. Long story short, I started with both sides. We are all on the same page. And we are not fighting the company right now. I want to make one thing clear. We are not fighting the company. We are trying to put common sense to our elected officials. You cannot ask, none of you can ask for our vote if you don't hear our voice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I have two things I just want to present to the board. I believe it's on page 31 of the agenda packet, and it's where we approved $10,445 for the submersible mixer. That quotation at $10,445 does not include tax, does not include installation or startup. So who does that? Who will do the startup, the installation? Tax better be like 6%. Is that additional cost to Washington Township through their employees? Or do we now have to face another quote for the startup and the installation? That's number one. Number two, if we're going to pay a little over $18,000 for this sludge hauling, now, this was not already in the budget, so we're probably going to be putting that in the budget, right, as a line item for sludge haul every 5 years or something like that. I know you
Already in
don't.
the budget, it's just it was over our spending ability. That's why it was brought to the board.
Oh, okay, so we may not have to do this every 5 or 6 years?
Well, it depends on the use, but we put it in the budget for
Oh, you did?
preventative maintenance.
Okay, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Hello, my name is Mary Ann. I live in Carriage Hills. I've been there 52 years. I'm real concerned about losing my well, my septic, children mentally hurt, getting sick over that data center. There's a lot of things to consider. What is the township getting out of this? What are you getting ahead? Are you being paid off for this? Is this something to be proud of? What are you personally getting out of this? All I hear is negativity. I'm concerned. Do we have to then get city water? Will it affect our city water in any way? Will we have to pay high prices now to get clean water? It's really a concern. I've seen other cities boycotting the Ann Arbor, all these cities. So I really hope everybody thinks about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, close public comment. I do want to say, like, I think all of us up here, we're getting attacked all the time about getting some sort of buyout. We're not. The landowners that are selling the land are benefiting from this. I'm not benefiting, and I don't think anybody else here is benefiting from this land sale. It's a private land deal. Everyone keeps FOIAing this. We don't have anything to do with the land. The land is a private deal between the landowner and the data center. So So I just want to say that. Elected officials update, community announcement. So, do you have anything?
With the Memorial Day stuff.
Huh?
The Memorial Day parade,
Yeah, so.
Day of prayer.
So tomorrow we have our National Day of Prayer and International Firefighter Day. That's at 11 a.m. at the Memorial Park. That's at 11 a.m. Everybody's welcome. We'll have donuts and water at the event. Friday, May 22nd, Memorial Day is early this year. We're going to be doing our Memorial Day event also at the Memorial Park. It's at 11 a.m. Everyone's welcome. And then Monday, the actual Memorial Day, Romeo does their annual parade with the Romeo High School Marching Band. And that's at the Romeo Village Cemetery, so everybody's welcome to go to that. Tomorrow, Romeo Schools asked me if they could have a ice cream truck up front. 20% of proceeds will go to Romeo Schools. So if you're in the mood for ice cream tomorrow, stop by here at the Township. It's at 1:30. 20% of proceeds will go to the school. We are closed on Memorial Day coming up at the end of the month. The Planning Commission meeting is canceled. May 14th was supposed to be the day, I believe.
It's supposed to be next week, yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be next Thursday. We didn't have any applicants. We are making use of the time, the planner, our planning director and engineer, lawyer, we're all meeting, trying to get updates. We are investigating other experts. The next one that we are going to approve is the fire expert. The board did give us latitude to not wait till the next meeting to hire experts as we work on the ordinance that we're working on. And you guys want to say something?
Okay.
Did I cover enough?
Yeah. I just wanted to say congratulations to Lisa Halsey. She's the deputy treasurer. She completed 2 or 3 years for her MTA basic training program. It's a rigorous program that she goes to every year. So next year she'll be graduating from that. So it's an accomplishment to her to take her time out to spend a week there to learn more about it and then to be able to talk to other people with issues that are going on. So congratulations to her. Also, too, I just wanted to wish all the mothers happy Mother's Day this weekend. So happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. 2 other things. One, today is National Nurses Day. So if you know a nurse, please make sure you thank him or her. And next week is National Police Week. So if you see a police officer, please make sure you thank them as well.
Okay, and we have our paper shredding, electronics recycling event this Saturday, 9 to 12 p.m. at the Township Hall. So bring your paper and, what am I doing? Bring your paper and your electronics to recycle. What was I going to say? And also, yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, whether you're a younger mother, middle-aged, older mother. It's such an honor. I'm a mother of 4, and it's like the greatest vocation of your life is being a mom. So, and I know, and you see the younger mothers starting out, and you're like, you realize I was there. I remember that. So, and my mom just turned 93 like a month ago. So, and she's just doing great, and it's a blessing to have her around. So I'm lucky, and I hope you all have a nice Mother's Day. Thank you. Thank you.
To springboard off of Supervisor Pavitti's comments, just remember when you think about the job we're doing up here, we are the same board that voted unanimously to hire an expert. We are the same board that voted unanimously to approve expenditures so we didn't have to wait till next meetings. Sometimes it's easy to look from the cheap seats of what's going on up here, but we don't have a choice. We have to follow procedures. If we don't follow these procedures to the T, we open the doors for others. Thank you for your time and for caring.
With that, we have no correspondence.
Just one quick note for Camille. Just for consistency with regards to the ordinance updates and that, everything should go through Dana's office. So if you've got any questions, I know they've been working on it. We would, the Planning Commission hasn't seen updates yet either, so careful when we release that's not approved. We don't want to put too much out there until it's seen, review. But if you contact Dana's office, I'm sure she'll be able to tell you whatever we can up to, the most recent that we have, that's been approved, so.
I don't know if I should say what, it's also election year, so it is a good time to review the governor candidates, the state senator, the state rep, they're all up. So again, a lot more can be done at the state level than here at the local level. So, I mean, investigate on their positions on different items. With that, I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session on 15.1 pursuant to MCL 15.268 to discuss pending litigation to a specific Macomb County case number 2024-004996-CD regarding trial or settlement strategy with legal counsel. 15.2 to consult with Township attorney, bless you, regarding trial or settlement strategy in connection with specific pending litigation in the matter of BioCore Development LLC versus Charter Township of Washington. Macomb County Circuit Court docket number 2025-002968-CH pursuant to section 81E of the Open Meetings Act. 15.3 to consider personal evaluation of a public employee pursuant to section 81A of the Open Meetings Act.
Support.
So that's my motion, supported by Chaplin. Roll call, I have to do roll call.
Pravidi?
Yes.
Chaplin?
Yes.
Nicely?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Reinhold?
Yes.
Mylum?
Yes.
Brown? Yes.
Okay, we'll be back after a few minutes in closed session. Thank you all for coming. Happy Mother's Day.
A few minutes?
Make a motion to go into open.
Open session,
Tina, are you there?
9:26.
Tina there? I'm joking. I make a motion to go into open session at 9:30.
Support?
9:30.
Supported by Dennis Stevenson. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Any other motions? So for 15.1, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the resolution as discussed in closed session. To authorize the.
He has it.
He has
you
it.
have
Can
it?
you
John has
move
it.
the agenda to page 2 so we can see page 2, please?
Well, John wrote it down for that.
Okay, I'll let you do it.
I will do it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, John wrote it
It's
down.
simple. Simply do a motion to approve resolution specific to Macomb County Circuit Court, case number 24-004996-CD pursuant to the terms recommended by legal counsel.
Support.
That's a motion by Chaplin, supported by Dennis Stevenson. No questions, roll call.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Brown. Yes, sorry, Sam. Praviti.
Yes.
I brought him out of order, sorry.
Okay, motion passed. Next is 15.2. I'll make a motion to direct the attorney to execute as discussed pending BioCore Development LLC versus Charter Township of Washington, Macomb County Circuit Court case docket number 2025-002968-CH pursuant to section 818 of the Open Meetings Act.
Support.
Word consent judgment after execution.
Consent judgment,
Support.
Reinhold, okay.
supported by Reinhold. Roll call.
Praviti.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Brown, yes.
Motion passed. 15.3.
That one's all you. We
Me again?
consider this one for you.
Oh, my God.
Right at the top of your sheet.
15.3, make a motion to authorize legal counsel to pursue case number 24-004.
Authorize legal counsel to resolve the personnel matter discussed in closed session pursuant to the terms of closed session.
That's what I said.
Copy and
Support.
paste.
Supported by Nicely. Roll call.
Praviti.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Brown, yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Or.
Supported by Chaplin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. Thank you. See you May 20th at our next meeting.